Alright, we're gonna make our version of sliders on Hawaiian buns. So I'm gonna get my butter, I'm gonna melt it at the bottom of my pan here. And I'm gonna start sauteing some green peppers, garlic, and onions. And get them all nice and softened. And then we will put that off to the side and do our ground beef. There we go. Looks good to me. Onions, green peppers, garlic in there. Green peppers are frozen. They are from our garden from the summer. I like to separate them out into individual baggies in 1 cup increments. We put a lot of stuff up this year from the garden. Looking forward to next year and putting up even more. Especially maybe green beans and peas. All our pea pods never made it inside. And I'm gonna say only about 10% of our beans made it inside. Between the kids and the chickens, they ate the majority of them. We gotta put the beans in a different spot this year. And not where the chickens can just mosey on up to them and start pecking away. Alright, I have my ground beef in there. Now, I put my green peppers and all off to the side. But to give it a little extra something, I like to add a bit of Worcestershire sauce in there. And some of the your steak seasoning. A little bit more. There we go. Again, it all goes by feel and not really any measurements. But even though I don't measure anything, it always comes out tasting the same. It's crazy. Eyeball measuring can be the same as actual measuring. Alright, I'll bring you back when this is all browned. Alright, in a saucepan I got some soy sauce and some brown sugar and a little pinch of Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna combine this. I'm gonna make a glaze or a dip. We just usually put it on the plate and you can dip it as you want. Some people pour it on and make like a glaze on top of it and then put it back in the oven and it kind of gets hard or crispy. And I find we like to dip it to a sauce-like consistency. Kind of heat it on medium heat until brown sugar is dissolved. Get in there. Alright, there we go. It's sliding across the pan with ease. I'm going to pour in some honey, ginger, and cinnamon. Let that honey melt in there. Let the ginger incorporate. We're going to thicken this. Some people do use cornstarch. I use flour. It does lighten the color of the sauce slightly. But if you really want that color that it is right now, there is something called bouquet, and you can add that to it and it just adds the coloring back. If you are insistent that it be a dark color. Alright, now that everything is incorporated nicely, and the spatula kind of runs through everything, nothing gets sticky, nothing feels gritty. I'm going to add in flour to thicken it. I spilled some on the stove. Yes, I switched to a little whisk. I just didn't feel like splashing anything onto the stovetop with the spatula. My heat is on a little bit above low. Just gonna add just a little bit more flour until it starts to thicken up. And a little flour at a time. Don't add a whole bunch because it's easier to thicken than it is to thin. Alright, and that's kind of the consistency that we're looking for. So it doesn't really splash when you're swishing around, but it is kind of still liquidy. It's like a light sauce. Not as thick as ketchup or mustard. It's still a little thick. Alright, so you just cut your Hawaiian buns in half. By us, after Thanksgiving and after Christmas, these Hawaiian buns, they go on sale for 99 cents. You better believe I pick up about 15 of them and I stick them in the freezer. Because my kids love to eat Hawaiian buns just by themselves. Let alone making it for meals or dinners. Or just as a quick sandwich for yourself during lunch. So we're just gonna put down the ground beef. My oven is preheated at 350 because really everything's cooked. You're just kind of melting the cheese and merging everything together. All right. I'm just going to add the green pepper an onion mix to half of it. The kids don't like the green peppers, onions, and garlic. But us adults do. Kind of almost makes it a little bit like a Philly cheesesteak kind of tasting-ish. Then I have my mozzarella that I have cut up in skinny slices here. I'm just gonna lay that on. And that is going to melt. And just become really good. Trying to spread it out in some of the little thinner pieces that you can kind of see through. All right. And then you place your top back on, and you just put it in the oven and keep an eye on it until your cheese becomes all melty. And this is what it looks like. All done. Nice and gooey. Yummies. All right, Nathan. Hats off, please. Thank you.
I think my hot dog.
All right. You chose to dip yours in ketchup. How is it?
Good.
Good? All right. Hey, Madison. You also chose the ketchup. You are definitely going to love it because it's Hawaiian buns. And he's just going to town.
Yum.